Dela's voice has been made possible by the generosity of sponsors like you. What makes live shows so special is that interaction between the viewer and the host and the guest, whether it's through the chat or the live phone calls. This connection is created because people are allowed to share their experiences, their feelings, their thoughts, and this makes for a beautiful dynamic of energy that's connecting people in so many different ways. And that's how we learn. That's the best way we can help one another, is by connecting at such deep levels. This is Dela Futui, the host of Dela's Voice, hoping to spark your soul. Hello, and welcome to another Dela's Voice Sunday live talk show. Let me start this Sunday by saying how grateful I am to be able to have this platform, to bring you these stories, to inspire, to motivate, to inform. At the end of the day, really, the sole purpose of this show is for someone to get the message of hope that wellness is possible, that recovery is possible, and that change is in your hands. So I'm super excited to have today's guest. I mean, we just had a chat before the show started, and it sounds like we are going to I'm more excited, okay, than I think anyone else. It's going to be such a treat to hear this incredible individual. And her sole purpose in life is to help others. And I think that's admirable. Christina Johnson is here today. She is a speaker. She is a motivator. She's an educator. She is a designer. And she is a beautiful, beautiful woman. She's going to talk about her journey. And she's going to really show us how we don't have to take what is handed over to us. We don't have to be a victim of circumstances, that it is our choice to choose at every moment of our lives. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome this incredible person on Dela's Voice Sunday live talk show, Miss Christina Johnson.
Hi.
Hello.
Claire. Hi, Dela. How are you?
Excellent. I'm so excited. I'm so excited,
I'm
Christina.
excited too. I really am.
It's going to be amazing. Do you want to take a moment and say hello to our viewers?
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in, sending you lots of love, lots of positive energy, and I hope that this next hour blesses you tremendously.
Yes. And it's going to be fast because I just know that every time we have fun, the hour goes by really quickly.
It goes too fast, but I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. Can we just take a moment, because I'm blessed by having this platform and such viewers that follow Dela's Voice always, but this particular woman that has come across like my path in life, and I don't know why. I've been so blessed with her presence in my life. Deborah Swayze, who has introduced us together, and she's she's done so much harassing to get you on the show.
I love it. I love
She
Deborah.
she's just an amazing force and a connector in life, and she blesses so many people's lives, and I just wanna take a moment to just send her lots of love.
Oh, I love
Oh, and
that.
it's her birthday
Deborah.
tomorrow.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yes,
That's so exciting.
yes, happy birthday, happy birthday. And if you're watching this show live, please press that share button because you just never know who needs to hear this message today. We
Absolutely.
started this show by sharing our intentions, and I wanna ask Christina, what was that intention? If you could share that. Oh, look, oh, there you are.
Uh-oh. Sorry. I don't know
No,
what
no,
happened.
it's okay. No worries. You're good. You're good. So, as I said, we shared our intentions for doing this show, and I
Yeah.
asked you, Miss Christina, what is your intention of doing this show today?
Well, my intention is to bless as many people as I can through sharing my journey. And, being as vulnerable and open as I can so that other people feel safe to listen and to really just self examine so that they can work through their stuff as well. I mean, we all have, things that our stories, things that we've grown up with, through, and some of the stuff that we're still carrying. So I'm hoping that people that are watching will let go of some of the, their past pains and live a great life. And also how to share how powerful gratitude is in that. So I'm praying that a lot of people will be blessed. That's my intention.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect. We're gonna start right away, and I want you to please take us back to, just give us a little bit of a snippet of where you're from,
Okay.
and how did Christina come to life?
Yes, I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. So I'm a country girl, and I was born to a teen mom and a father who didn't claim me. So energetically, it was really difficult growing up, and looking for love, and sometimes in the wrong places. But I remember really just having a lot of self hatred and fear. And at 16, I became pregnant again at 19. But one thing about this journey, and I'm going to say this early, is I don't regret anything because everything that I've been through is a part of who I've become. So I feel like if I leave out something, then something will be missing. So I grew up, it was really tough because my mom married when I was a baby. And my stepfather, he had been through a lot growing up as well. He had seen a lot of violence. So we had violence in our home. I've seen like guns cocked to my mom's head, her begging for her life, I mean, me and my brothers also begging for her life. And that was really, really difficult. So I think the greatest lesson that we can teach our children is how to love through the way that we love in our own relationships, right? Not just intimate relationships, the way you love your parents, the way you love your friends. Kids are watching. They don't always do what we do. I mean, do what we say. They
No,
do what
but
we
they
do.
watched, right?
Sorry
They
about
watch and learn from us. Yes, for
Yes,
sure.
they do. So my definition of love growing up was really distorted. Like I thought that violence was the way, and um it was a lot of narcissism. I grew up but in my heart grew up just totally looking for love and also giving it. And that stayed with me this whole time because now I have such a compassion. I always say I've turned my pain into compassion for people who have been through things where they didn't, feel like they were loved, whether it's a relationship, whether it's growing up. So one of my biggest things is spreading love because I know how important love is. So yes, I grew up around a lot of violence. So it took a lot for me to heal, but I remember at 22 saying that I'm going to forgive. my parents because they can't give you what they don't have.
Mm.
They had their own violent, background, history, pains, and traumas.
Yes.
So I decided, okay, I'm going to see it for what it is and really release it, because carrying it with me is not helping me at all, or the people that I come in contact with. So very early in my 20s, forgiveness was a powerful, powerful tool for me.
Wow, that's a really difficult lesson to learn in life. And
Yeah.
at 22, to have learned that, I think that takes a lot of insight. And one thing you said, and I want to reiterate, is that a lot of us do blame our parents
Yes.
for the way our lives turn out,
Mhm.
forgetting that, as you said, they can't give what they don't have, they can't
Yes.
teach what they didn't learn.
Yes.
And we forget that that parent who gave birth to us at the age of, I mean, for you, your mom was a teen mom, at the
Yes.
age of whatever, how could she have learned those lessons herself, right? And so,
Absolutely.
is that a part of how you were able to forgive?
Yes. Um, because I understood, like, I always make the example of, I can't teach my son how to change a tire if I don't know how.
It's true.
I can only give him what I have. And as parents, sometimes we may fall short, but we are hard on ourselves. And sometimes it's hard for us to even forgive ourselves. So becoming a mom as a kid, really, I understood I'm going through these changes. I'm still growing up, and I'm going to make my mistakes. I always tell my children, because I have 3 kids. Well, I say 3 kids, they're all adults now. So,
You don't look like a mom of adult kids, I must say.
thank you so much. I have 3 adult kids and 5 grandkids. So, yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about that soon.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Yes. So I always used to say, okay, P doesn't stand for perfect. I mean, yeah, the P in parent doesn't stand for perfect.
Mm,
I come with my own imperfections. You're going to have to go through your own battles to grow, but I'll be right there. I'll have your back. And as I make my mistakes, I've learned to apologize for my mistakes and forgive myself. I know as a woman, we as women, we are so incredibly hard on ourselves, and it's very hard to forgive us. The first thing we do a lot of times is run straight to guilt.
mm,
Um, so it took me a while to understand, like, Christina, it's okay. You can make mistakes. You can ask for forgiveness. You can forgive yourself and move forward, because unforgiveness keeps us stagnant. I love that quote. Unforgiveness is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die.
yeah,
It's you that's dying.
yes,
So I try my best to always remember that. Even if it's relationships that I can't continue, I try to, end them, or understand that they have to move forward without me, but I'm going to send great energy.
yeah,
I'm going to forgive them, because forgiveness isn't just it's not for them, really.
yeah,
Forgiveness is for us, it's for you.
yeah,
So letting go of the past pain and trauma is what has helped me to live a great life, like, really great life. Success looks different to everybody,
mhm,
but for me, true wealth is my health first, family and support system, and then everything else after that, love. So I feel like I've had a very successful, and am having a very successful life. And a lot of it is contributed to forgiveness and letting go of the past. Like, I can't change it. I can't go back and do it over. I can't change who my parents had as parents, or, grandparents, or what traumas happened to them. The only thing I can do is understand that it's not our fault that we were, born into this story. I feel like we came here to grow, to learn, to go through these things. Nothing is for nothing. So what are you going to do with now? What are you going to do with this opportunity that you have right now, to bless, to change, to love, to have gratitude, to forgive? Um, and those are the things that I'm most focused on. I want to love. I want to forgive. I want to have understanding. I want to have compassion. I want to continue growing in a great way. And I want to exude positive energy everywhere I go. So, in order to do that, I can't carry a lot of negative energy with me. I'm human. So, of course, we feel, we go through our stuff, but I'm trying to give as much positive as I can and understand that what I put out, I always get in return.
Yes.
So that is like my thing. Like, understand, Chris, if you wake up today, you're excited, you're happy, other excited people and happy people are going to surround you.
That's
The
it.
energy is going to be amazing. So
Yes.
I'm setting the tone for everyone that's going to
Yeah.
cross my path. We have that power, and also the power of our thoughts and our words. So when I'm getting up, I'm thinking positive thoughts, I'm thinking positive energy, and I'm putting it out. And so most of the time, that's what I get in return.
You
My
choose.
reflection.
Yeah, you choose, right?
Yeah,
You
it's our
choose
choice to
everything. Yeah.
choose.
Yeah.
From the time we get up in the morning till we go to bed at night, everything's based on choices. I set my alarm, but am I going to hit snooze and be late? Or am I going to
That-
get up and start my day on time? Am I going to wear this outfit or that outfit? Am I going to, you know, brush my teeth? Like, everything is a choice.
Everything is a
So it's all about making one choice at a time, and not being hard on yourself. I
yeah.
know I've battled with, eating and food and stuff like that in the past. And it's like, now I understand, Christina, you prep what you can. And when you're on the run, you make the best choice that you can. You don't put too much thought into it. Okay, I would rather have a burger, but I'm going to order this salad. And I celebrate those small victories,
That's
you
a
know.
that is so important. That is
Yeah,
so important because we are tough on ourselves.
we
And
are.
looking at those small victories, um, the so I mean you talked about something really important, and I want to go back there, uh,
Okay.
and it's on this topic of being so hard on ourselves for
Mhm.
sure. But I want to take a moment and go to the comments if that's okay.
Oh, absolutely.
And say hello to everybody who's left us a comment. If you're watching this show, leave us a comment and we can say your name and say hello. Deborah Swayze, of course, she's so
Hi,
excited.
Deborah. Happy birthday, honey. Thank you,
Yay.
sis.
And Paul Cummings, another incredible motivational speaker. We had him on Dela's Voice last week. He's here.
Oh,
Hello, Paul. Thank you so much for
hi
being here.
there.
Of course, my mama, Christina, my
Oh,
mama, she's always here, and so is my hubby. So they're they're all watching. So thank you so much. Deborah says Christina is such an incredible soul, and she is so honored to call you her friend.
oh, thank you,
And
Deborah. The same way.
yes, yes, and Lawrence R. Swayze is here as well. This is Deborah's other half.
Yes.
And he says, I'm sure this is going to be a great show with two great ladies. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
thank
And
you. They're a cool couple.
they're beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
And we've got a dear friend, Ali, here as well, and he's watching. So thank you so much for everybody who's here and left us comments. Christina, every single person I've met and I've spoken to has made these amazing, great, big changes in life.
Yes.
And they're here because of something incredibly um, difficult that happened
Mhm.
to them. Uh,
Yes.
some people call it the turning point. Some people,
Yeah.
some people call it the awakening. Um, I sometimes say, I hit my head and there was nowhere else to go. Like
Wow.
that was my turning point, right? It
Mhm.
was like that was it. I couldn't do it anymore. So I had
Mhm.
to do something about it.
Wow.
If you're looking back at your life, what was that moment for you? What was that pivotal moment where it changed you?
I would have to say, outside of the unforgiveness piece, when I was really young, I battled with Graves' disease. which is an autoimmune disease that attacks your thyroid, which your thyroid is the butterfly shaped gland in your throat. So I got diagnosed in '09 with Graves' disease, and I had a tumor in my womb. And so I started dying. It grew so big that it pushed my organs out of the way. It set on my right kidney. So my left kidney had to overcompensate, and my right kidney got smaller. My left kidney got bigger. And the doctor my endocrinologist was like, you're like the sickest patient I've ever had, So that was really tough because, again, I'm a mom, and the thought of leaving my children behind. And I was in my 30s at the time. So I was really like, it's too early, God,
Mm-hmm.
But it was happening so fast because I tried to do it and tackle it naturally initially, but I kind of waited too late. So I was doing natural remedies, and then I ended up having to have surgery and got cut hip to hip. And during that time, before the surgery, I was fading, and the doctors were telling me, like, okay, he would say, your kidney is going to fail. Then we'll have to take you into emergency surgery, but you would die on the table because your thyroid is overactive, which means you would go into cardiac arrest because your heart rate is already too fast. And I remember every week I would have to go get blood tests and, for them to check everything to see if my numbers had normalized so that I could have surgery.
Yeah.
And every week for a while, they weren't stable. And so I would cry in the car, like cry and cry, like, God, they're telling me I'm going to die. What do I do? And I remember hearing a voice, just as clear as I'm talking to you, say, are you going to believe the word of man, or are you going to stand on my promises? And I remember at that moment saying, I'm going to stand on your promises. I grew up in a small church in Charlotte, North Carolina. So I've
Faith
always
was
had,
important to you.
yeah, I believed in power higher than myself.
Yeah.
And that's what's always carried me, even being a young, fearful child, being, surrounded by abuse and things of that nature. I've always had a personal relationship with the Most High, as I call it. And so I remember that day saying, I'm going to stand on your promises. And I started using gratitude. So I was getting these thyroid storms, which are fevers that are extremely high and life threatening. It was like 104, 105 fevers. And it was so debilitating, I could barely walk. I remember saying thank you while I had the shakes. Before I took a nap, like, I don't know if I'm going to wake up this time, God, but I just thank you. I thank you for my healing. Thank you for my healing, until one day I was saying, thank you for my healing, and I was healed. I think healing has a lot to do with emotional things as well. I felt like that huge tumor was an outward expression of everything I had been through, the anger, the disappointments, the traumas that I hadn't let go. So the reason that I feel like Graves was such a turning point for me is because you have to go back and search your heart, your mind, your spirit to see what it is that I'm still holding on to. I had been through a divorce. And because I was married to an entertainer, it was so hard to go through that. And I say publicly, but nowhere near like now, where there's Instagram and Facebook and all that
Yes.
stuff. So publicly, because of the people that we knew, people in the business, it was so hard. And I just felt like I broke a promise to God. We were both very young. We were both growing a lot. It kind of turned unhealthy. So I was like, I don't think I want to repeat what I saw as a child as
Yeah.
far as unhealthy definitions of love. So let me move on. But we always kept the love. Like, we tried to keep everything as normal for the kids as we could. We became, closer friends even.
Yeah, that
And
always
today,
happens.
yeah, to this day,
Yeah.
we're like family.
Yeah.
And so it was important for me to do things different from what I saw.
Yeah.
But going through graves kind of showed me, hey, you can't carry this stuff with you. It has an effect on you emotionally, physically. And so it was, again, like another lesson to forgive, to let go, to move forward. And that's what I learned, and how powerful gratitude is. Gratitude is such a powerful tool. I mean, honestly, I feel like it helped in my healing a great deal, just saying thank you. And it is not easy to say thank you when you're scared or you're hurting or you're in pain or you're angry or whatever. It's like kind of going against what your body feels. It's like,
Yeah.
no, my body's saying I'm mad or I'm hurting or I'm
Yeah.
sad. But gratitude is like, no, everything's going to be okay. I'm thankful for this experience. So I'm just going to ride it out. And I remember saying, I'm going to go through this with my eyes wide open, because this is where my resilience, my strength, my power is coming from. And that's what I did. I just went through it, like I said, saying thank you until I was thanking God for my healing and I was healed. So that was a huge turning point. And my lesson to give other people in that is to try to find the goodness in everything. Get the lesson. Because when these things happen to us, whether it's illness, whether it's abuse, whatever traumas you're going through, it's here to teach us something, and I feel like it teaches us something about ourselves. So I just wanted to make sure that I was paying attention to what can I learn from this? What can I get, from this happening, instead of focusing, oh my God, I don't feel good. Because
Yeah.
you get more
Or
of what you give
me.
energy to.
Yeah, why is God doing this to me? And what
Exactly.
did I ever do to deserve
Mhm.
this? Yes.
Yes.
And you're right, because when you think about it, being grateful for
Mhm.
what's really the most difficult things you are going through, that's the hard part.
Yes.
Otherwise, being grateful for, if your life is all rosy, I mean, there's no right, that's easy.
Exactly. It's so easy. And it's like, how do we get these lessons if we don't go through anything? We're here to have an experience. So I'm always like, bring it. I'm waking up every day, Della, at like asking myself, what adventure do you want to have today? I've raised 3 children. Now I have these phenomenal grandbabies that are looking at me. I want to always live the example of a great woman for them. Like, because girls, they imitate their moms. Like, they end up being sometimes very close to who we are when you set certain examples, and not in every way, but in some ways. So I'm like, oh, I hope they get some goodness, a lot of the goodness. And like I said, always understanding that we have to be resilient. We're going to go through things. But I'm like, I always used to tell my girls, like, I'm making this toolbox for you. And I put some custom tools in there. I can't be with you every moment of the day. I don't know what's going to transpire all the time. If I'm not around, you'll always have this toolbox to help you get through. And I have to trust my raising. I have to trust that I've done the best that I can. One of my favorite books in the world is The Four Agreements. And I love the agreement that says, always do your best. No one can knock you at your best. It's your best. How is my best not good enough if it's my best?
Mhm.
So be okay with the fact that you've done your best. And in some situations we haven't. Forgive yourself and do better next time. Don't harp on it. Don't be hard on yourself, and be kind to yourself. Don't give yourself so much grief. Just understand that we're here to learn. It's okay, honey. You haven't done anything that no one else has done. You're not the first to do it. You're not the first to make the mistake or the decision. So just forgive yourself.
And that's why it's so important for people to tell their stories, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Because there's so much hope in knowing that I'm not the only one.
Only one. You said it. It's so powerful. When I was ill, I started making these necklaces. It's like a little glass valve with a mustard seed in it. And it just reminds me, like, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, right? Just this teeny tiny seed that eventually grows so big, you can move mountains out of your life. Just be okay with Now you're an adult and you get to choose. You don't have to do what you saw. You know, you don't have to feel what you used to feel. You don't have to go through things that you used to go through. You get to manage your life. You get to choose. So in that, I choose love, I choose peace, I choose true joy, because sometimes happiness can be circumstantial based on what what's going on in your life at the moment. But true joy, it's everlasting. It's like once I get through this, I know like it's still there. Deep
Mhm.
down inside somewhere there's joy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's
So
something you do today is teach people, women in particular,
yeah.
to live um, with authentic joy. And
Yes.
yeah, and I want to talk about that because we did touch on this before the show started, because that's so
Yeah.
important in life. And so many of us have not learned what true joy really means. And I
Mhm.
mean, you come from a background of having lived that celebrity
Mhm.
lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
And you were like, you had all the shiny things, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
And I mean, and you lived that and you left it behind
Yes.
because you were looking for true joy. And
Yes. True.
so
Yes.
right? So let's just take a moment and go to the comments, because I want to make sure
Okay.
we say hi to Briza Alfaraz here, and she says she's
Hi,
very excited
Bridget.
for this conversation.
Oh,
Briza is an amazing person too. She was in a coma, Christina, for so long, and when she woke up from her coma, she couldn't move, she couldn't talk, she couldn't. Yeah,
wow.
so amazing story of how she's changed her life,
Love it.
and she's going through struggles and adversities just like every other woman, and
Yes.
she's one of those women who's also living this powerful decision making that you talk about. It's our choice to choose. um, Deborah says, without my deep gratitude, I would have never made it through my stroke. I was
Oh,
alone in the hospital because of COVID, so I only had my God, and I thanked him for everything in my life. Isn't
mm.
that's just so? Oh, so she also continues. Today, I am too blessed to be depressed,
All
too
right.
anointed to be disappointed.
I love that. I
Yeah,
love that,
yeah.
Deborah.
It's hard, right? To
Yes.
your biggest struggle is happening, and it's hard to bring yourself down to sitting down and saying, "I'm grateful for this."
Yes, it
And most
is.
people are not. Have not learned about this, and maybe they
Mhm.
don't know about the power of gratitude,
Yes.
but that's something you teach everybody, isn't it?
Yes. And sometimes we feel, the pain is so great. So it's very hard to bounce back from that. It really takes a decision and discipline to say, hey, I'm going to walk myself through this. For me, affirmations, visualization has been an amazing tool as well, because you're able to say those things that are not as though they were, which is a sign of faith. That's another thing. It's like you already see yourself healed. You see you driving your favorite car. You see yourself in a great environment with friends. And because you said earlier about the shiny things, I've learned like I've never seen a hearse, with a U-Haul attached to it. Once this journey is up and we transition, you're not taking any of this stuff. It's great to live good. It's great to be able to do the things that make you happy. But the monetary to me is not the most important thing. My peace, my love, my joy, my quality of life, that's what's important for me.
Mhm,
So just focusing on what makes me happy, what I want my life to look like, and then affirming that, because we have so much power in our tongues, in our voice, in our minds, the way that we're thinking. So utilizing those gifts of having a voice, utilizing the gift of having a sound mind is important. So affirmations, visualization, journaling, that's helped me a lot. I've been writing since I was a kid. Not as like, well, I actually am working on a book that's going to be released in January, but journaling, like that's been my thing, because sometimes you have to get it out, but you don't necessarily want to talk to someone, or you don't necessarily want to share certain things, it's important to write it down. So I would be like, Lord, speak through my hands, speak through my voice, so that I can share, my life and be an inspiration to other people. But it's been times where I may not have wanted to share, so I write it down. I have so many journals like stacked up.
Do
Um,
you ever go back and read them,
I
Christina?
do. I
Yeah,
do.
I know, me
Yes, 'cause
too.
it's wild to go back and see your mindset, where
Yes.
you were at a certain period in your life, how you felt. Um, and just because I've had the gift of doing television, sometimes even stepping outside of myself and seeing myself in that light was different, because we don't have that opportunity. Like, we are the person, so we can't necessarily look over and see our way of being. So that also was a blessing, because I got to see, Christina, you're a good person.
Uh-huh.
You're so kind, and not that I didn't know I was a good person, but it's different when you see yourself outside of yourself.
Yeah.
And I was telling some friends of mine, oh, I went back and watched the show, and I remember saying something and saying, oh, that was sweet. And
Yeah.
then I thought, Chris, it's you. Like, that's
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
But yeah, just really being mindful of how you're thinking, what you're saying, and finding ways of healing. I remember writing a letter to the people that betrayed me, because I've been through molestation as a kid. I've been through some things. And so I had to write a letter to the people who hurt me, and just burning it and really releasing it and just letting it go. And that's not always easy, but I'm telling you, if you're willing to do the work, and it is work, it is. Emotional work even tires you out, just like physical. It's like, when you do the work, on the other side of that is so much greatness. If you're willing to really put it out there and heal, your life will change dramatically.
Yeah.
So I want to share that, because sometimes it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel when you're in it. And maybe your focus isn't the light. But today, I would challenge you to look for the light in your tunnel and to take that route of healing, because it's so, 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 so powerful.
And the healing starts with us, doesn't it?
Yes, it
Because, right,
does.
it's all in me. That the hatred, the
Yeah.
anger, right,
Mhm.
the jealousy, the
Mhm.
competition. It's
Yes.
all self-talk, isn't it?
It
And
is. I always
so,
say I'm my
yeah.
own. Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, no, go ahead, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I always say I'm my own competition. My goal is to be a better Christina every day. I can't look at someone else's life and want something that they have or covet what they have. We all were created as amazing beings. It's about finding your own gifts and finding your path and creating the life that you want. What the next person has isn't, shouldn't be a desire. It's like, and sometimes we look at the outward, especially since social media. It's like, you see these pictures, it
Oh,
looks like, oh, they're living their best life. They
yeah,
have all these opportunities.
yeah.
You never know what's going on behind closed doors. You cannot envy something and you don't know their story.
And you
Sometimes we want the rewards, but we don't want to go through the journey that they had to go through to get it. So being mindful of that, like, you are special enough, you are unique, uniquely made, you are powerful, you are beautiful, your soul is perfect. So focus on those things. Like, I'm here to contribute to the world in a great way, different than this person, and I wish them the
Mhm.
best, and I'm gonna cheer for them on the sidelines. But at the end of the day, I'm here to do something amazing with my journey, and that's my focus.
Yeah. And every single person is
Mhm.
unique in in their
Absolutely.
own way, because nobody has had exactly their story, their
That's right.
experience, their perspective. And
Absolutely.
so you're so right. But no matter how much other people say those wonderful things to us, as
Uh-huh.
long as we don't believe it in our heart of heart,
Hmm.
nothing matters.
That's right. That's right. Like, we should be our biggest cheerleader. We should know who we are. We should take the time to get to know ourselves and build on a relationship with ourselves. And I know spending time with myself was another great way. I would take myself to a movie. I would take myself to brunch. I would sit down and write and just spend time with Christina. I remember riding in a car with a friend of mine, and I love like opening the sunroof and singing and dancing. And I remember them looking over at me like, wow. And at that moment, I was growing a lot, and I was like, wow, I want to feel that way about myself, that it seems that this person feels like
Yeah.
they see a beauty in me that I'm not really experiencing, you know? So, really taking the time to get to know you and the beauty in you and what you love to do. I always tell people to write a list of as many things as you can think of that you really love to do that brings you joy, and try to do a few things off that list as often as you can, because in that you'll get to know you again, what makes you smile, what makes you laugh, and what gives you peace. I know for me, being close to the ocean is heaven.
Mm, for
Me
me
having
too.
all of my kids, really,
Yeah,
I
but
love it
I don't
so
have
much.
that. So one day.
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. So sometimes if I get to go to the beach or something, I'm in heaven. But running a bubble bath and just taking the time to take a bath still puts me close to water. It
Yeah.
still gives me peace. So sometimes we have to, even take in a shower, sometimes I can hear clearly, spiritually. So being around water is a blessing, So finding those things, having all three of my grown kids in the house with me at the same time is like heaven. And then having the kids too, like that's heaven to me.
I still can't believe you're a grandma. This is
I
crazy.
know. Sometimes I can't either. But it's beautiful because it's like it's a second chance to get it right. You know what I mean? Even more so. I feel like I did a decent job, but even now I have more wisdom to give, and more
Mhm.
love to give. It's amazing how you love them as if you gave birth to them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just sharing family, it just brings me happiness. So I try to do things off that list to love on myself, because I mean, like I said, I'm human. Sometimes you still have your days where you're like, okay, Chris, what are you going to do next? What's happening? And it's like, no, just do something off that list to bring you joy. And you can think about it while you're horseback riding, or you can think about it, while you're putting your feet in the ocean, or doing meditation. Getting quiet to me is like the secret to hearing what you need to hear. Because a lot of people are like, well, I don't know where to start. Get quiet, see your life the way you want it to be. That's a start. Just start there. And things will start opening up and coming to you. People will walk up to you and say something that you needed, or opportunity will come to show you this is your next step.
Yeah.
But you have to be open.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to be open.
I love that list idea. I
It's
love
a
it.
good
I
thing.
love it
Yeah.
because, so in my own journey, I've had a lot of growth, and I've done a lot to change my life.
Mhm.
And obviously, it hasn't always been easy, but I've put a lot of tools in my toolbox. You talked about toolbox. There's a lot of different tools I've used over the years. And while I use those tools, everything
Mhm.
is good and it's working. And it's
Mhm.
like, at some point, I start taking it for granted and I become
Mhm.
complacent with those same tools that have gotten me there. And
Understood.
then one day I wake up and it's like, oh, I don't feel so good, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And those are the moments where, you say, oh, well, you know what? I have these tools
Yeah.
that have helped me. There's no reason why they're not going to work today. So
Absolutely.
having that list is a great tool because sometimes when in a when we are in a dark moment, it's hard to think of those things that make us feel good. So
Absolutely.
having that list is like a quick check. Like
Yeah.
let me see. Okay, I can do this. I can put on music and start moving. Uh,
Yeah.
right. So great tool. Great tool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're
Yeah.
welcome. And then sometimes people love music. Music is so healing.
Hmm.
But
That
they
has been a
tend,
big part of your life too.
yes, it has. Being married to CeeLo Green was like, one of the things that I took away from our marriage was watching him create music as a producer, because he's always been like a singer, a rap. He was a rapper before he was a singer. A lot of people don't know that. But this was before The Voice and things that they know him from. But I would watch him start with one note and then build upon that one note. And then I would hear it come together as a beat. And then he would write the song, the melody would come, he would write the hook, and then he would add the lyrics. And I remember thinking, wow, you just built a whole song that's going to be a blessing to people. And then I remember one time hearing that first note on the keyboard, walking into a store, and it came on. To this day, it's like everywhere I go, I'll hear him and be like, did they know I was coming? Is he following me? But I remember hearing the song and then hearing two girls were in the store and they were like, oh my God, this is my song. And they're dancing. And I thought, wow, how powerful is that? That this one note, this one thought, you know what I mean, turns into something that makes people happy. And I was going to say, sometimes when we're in a melancholy mood or a bad mood or a sad mood, we tend to listen to sad music. Mm-hmm. And years ago, I just learned, okay, Christina, this isn't really helping. It's kind of like watching Lifetime movies, but then be like, why am I crying? You're going to get a good cry when you watch a Lifetime movie, okay? Yeah. So it's like, now I understand if you're feeling melancholy or you're feeling sad, which melancholy is a terrible thing, but it's like, if you want your energy to be brought up, listen to something that feels good. Yeah. Listen to something that makes you, happy, and watch things that are funny. I love comedy more than anything. Mm-hmm. Because I love to laugh. When people always say, you're a grandma, I don't, I can't see it. Like, then they'll say, what's your secret? And I'll be like, laughter, water, a good moisturizer. But laughter is always my number one, because I feel like it keeps you youthful. Yeah. Even with my kids, sometimes I'm like, you guys aren't teaching me the cool sayings. You're not keeping me up with the times, Yeah. And because they think it's so uncool when I'm trying to be cool. So I always tell them, like, thank God I have laughter, because that's what keeps me young. It keeps me youthful. I love taking care of my body. So even if I'm not eating at my best, I'm always at the gym. Like, I'm going to work out, whether it's running, a kickboxing class, hot yoga, whatever I can do to keep my heart rate up. We have to respect these vessels and do the best we can. Some people can't run. Okay, well, while I'm watching TV, I'm going to lift some weights, or, I'm going to do something to keep myself active, because that's always important to me too, is being able to chase my grandkids or being able to play with them, and being energetic, so
being able to get off the floor.
Yes. And everything, find balance. Yeah. You know what I mean? You don't have to go too far. Some people don't like cardio. Okay, yoga, there's stretching classes, just do something that kind of gets your blood flowing or makes you happy or give you an adrenaline rush. Like, do something that makes you feel good.
Even walking outside, everything, right? Just even walking. Walking.
Going for a nice walk.
Yeah, go for a nice. You said kickboxing. I'm all for that. I teach kickboxing on I do. I've been teaching it for a long time. So I love it. Love it. Yes, it's
one of my favorite things to do. I was telling my friend that, because we're supposed to go tomorrow. We're in Miami. So yesterday we went to get something to eat. And there was a kickboxing place right there. So she got us free passes. So tomorrow we're going to go to the class. Excellent. And I'm excited to do it. I love it.
So much fun.
And it really helps you to get rid of a lot of tension. Things are going on. Take it out on the bag, not the people next to you. I know sometimes it's and I don't know what's leading me to say this, but sometimes we are the hardest on the people that we love, because we feel like they're not going anywhere. and they're going to be there. So, I can take this out. And sometimes it's not even that intentional. You're just used to someone's there to catch that energy. Kickboxing is a way to rid yourself of that. Like, go take it out on the bag, not on the people that you love. I don't know why that is, but I just feel like understand that tomorrow's not promised and we can't take back our words. We can't take back the things that we've done. We can't take back the way that we've made people feel. So be conscious of the way that you're treating people. Be conscious of the way that you're talking to people, because that's very important. You have the power to build people up and make them feel good and make them feel strong. Like, make them feel beautiful. Use your words very carefully and intently. You know what I mean? Just be intentional with your words. I think that was in the four agreements too. Um, and understand there's other ways to get this negative energy off of you. But don't do it to the people that you care about. It's not good. It's not healthy. So just be kind. Be kind to yourself and be kind to the people around you. And when you have balance and when you've forgiven and when you've done things and gone through things that help you to heal, you become a better person, a better parent, a better mate, a better friend, a better sibling. Like, the healing is so much more than just for us. Everybody that you come in contact with will be blessed by your journey and blessed by your work.
Amazing. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Um, there was a while when I was in a situation that I didn't like, and
Mhm.
my life wasn't really what I wanted. The relationships weren't really what I wanted, and nothing was really working out for me. That's what I
Mhm.
thought. And then, I lived in that perpetual, oh well, it's everybody else's fault. If people could just do what I say, then
Yes.
I'll be happy. Right. And then of course I grew, and
Mhm.
I knew better, and I started changing myself, and it
Yeah.
wasn't until I was going through the changes in myself that I noticed that, wow, everything else is changing.
Yes. Everything. You see the beauty more
Yes.
and you're not focused on the negative as much. You just learn to appreciate life. One of my hardest battles too was relinquishing control. Just letting go of things that I can't control. I'm trying to control everything. My
Oh yeah.
kids, this is what you need to do. This is where you need to go for school. This is, how you should act. This is what, and it's like, Christina, this is their journey. Give them the space to grow on their own some. I'm here. Of course, I'm going to teach you discipline. Of course, I'm going to, live the example. Of course, I'm going to try to guide you the best that I can. But their journey isn't our journey. And
No.
it's not fair to dictate every single thing that they're supposed to do or say or how they're supposed to act. Like, sometimes they need the freedom to just be themselves, and just like us, the world will open up to them and guide them in the right way. But
Yeah.
we're here to usher them. We're here to, teach them, support them. I
Mhm.
always tell my kids, I got your back. Now, if you're in the wrong, I'm going to get you together. I'm going to tell you, like, this is not okay, but
Mhm.
I'm still going to support you. I'm
Mhm.
still going to have your back. But it was very hard relinquishing control, and it's just surrounded in fear. the
Yeah,
fear of
absolutely.
the
Absolutely.
fear of things not turning out the way I feel like they should turn out.
Yeah.
But if we really let life do what it do, as we say, um we don't limit ourselves, and greater things can come than what you expected. We think that, oh, if it goes this way, this is going to be the best for me, but how do you know that?
And you don't know that, and
You don't.
there's no way you can control that anyways, but we spend so much time there, and you spend so
Yeah.
much it you know, that's the cause of a lot of anxiety.
Yes, it is. It really is. We put ourselves through a lot.
Yeah. Well,
So,
you said about kids, and I wanna say that because somebody said that, and I can't remember who said it, but kids come through us, they don't
yeah,
come for us.
exactly.
But we forget that.
We do.
We forget that.
I saw a meme the other day that was like, the mom was saying, I fed you, I clothed you, I did this. And the kid came up and said, isn't that what you're supposed to do? I didn't ask to
Yeah.
come here.
Yeah. You did your job.
Yes, right. So, yeah. And growing up with a mom who had a child early, her first time being intimate, I'm conceived. It was a lot of that. We are still growing in that area of I gave you life and you kind of took mine away. Like,
Mm.
now you're doing all of this stuff, but I gave up a lot for you, and the forgiveness on the parental side as well.
Yes.
Because sometimes we don't understand from the parent's point of view, and understanding that you came through me, not for me. So that's been a strain that we still working doing the work. Like, life is a constant work, and we're in the process. And so even like the forgiveness piece, forgiving yourself, but also being patient with people who are working through their process so that they can do the same thing, and now as an adult, I feel like I'm able to share more wisdom with her, because sometimes as parents we think we know everything and that our kids can't teach us
Don't
anything.
we?
I know, but my kids have taught me so much about myself, and I'm a better person because of them.
Mm.
They were a blessing. I always say my kids saved my life. Just having someone else to look after and think about bless my soul. So even growing with my mom is kind of like, hey, I didn't ask to come here, but now I'm here. Let's make the best out of this. Let's look at it from a different angle, and I went through a lot of that, wanting that support and wanting that love and wanting, but sometimes you have to understand, like, people are still going through their process. They're working through their stuff and they've been hurt, like we said earlier. So just having compassion and patience is a blessing. So just be okay with the fact that we could be, I'm about to be 50 and I'm understanding that I'm still growing.
Mhm.
I'm still learning. So why is it hard for us to understand that our parents are doing the same thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're still growing, they're still learning. Man, age is just a number,
It
really and
is.
truly.
It is. It's so true.
Yeah, don't dictate your life or your choices and all of that by how old you are or where you are in life. I remember the other day, my daughter was like, I feel like I should be so much further. I'm about to be 30. And I'm thinking, girl, at 30, I was like still trying to find my way. I
Mhm.
don't know why these kids think that they're supposed to have it all together at 18. It's like, no, it's learning. 20s is when you make some of your biggest mistakes. That's the blessing in it.
I'm still making mistakes.
I mean, so it's like just forgive yourself and enjoy the ride,
Yeah.
and no matter how, what your age is, we're still growing and learning, and have fun. And like I said earlier, wake up like I do every morning, just say, what adventure am I going to have today? And it could be just getting out the house for a few minutes and getting some sun on your face. Whatever that feels like that day, it doesn't have to be anything big and extravagant. Just give yourself that, and please give yourself grace.
Mm.
And please find the beauty in everything. Please, like, I would leave you with that. Like, have gratitude for the things that you do have. There's some people that don't have legs to walk. You have that, a voice to speak.
Mhm.
You have that. Utilize what you have and be grateful for what you have. And anytime you're able to bless other people, do that, because that's what we're here for, is to serve. Be okay with being a person of service.
That's huge.
It's so
That is
big.
so huge.
It's so big.
Service is uh, definitely one of those tools that I
Yes.
was talking about earlier. I mean, if it weren't for me, like looking outside of myself and say, "Oh, okay, there's so much more than just me and my
Yeah.
misery," and so yeah, being able to step out of yourself and say, "Okay, it's not about you."
Mhm.
Get over yourselves.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Yes, honestly. And when I was going through my illness, I felt that way too. I was like, this isn't about you. Of course, this is my body going through it, but people were praying who've never prayed. People were, turning more of their negatives into positives. So I understood that, Christina, this is not just for you. because it was happening for me, because so many great things came out of it. But it's also happening for everyone else who's watching, including my children. So just understanding that everything we go through is not just about us, it's about the people that are going to be touched through the process. And like I said, there may be some things you may not want to share, but if you can, in your vulnerability, and that's Brene Brown,
Mm-hmm.
vulnerability makes you
Beautiful.
beautiful.
Yeah.
In that vulnerability is so much healing for
Yes.
yourself and other people.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Oof.
You said grace,
Mhm.
and I know we're. Can you believe 1 hour is over? Like,
Jeez.
I know it's crazy. But you touched on grace, and I really, really want to take your because you didn't go deep into that. But I do want you to please talk about grace. How do we have more grace?
I think what we said earlier about understanding that you're not the only one that has made bad decisions or did things that you're not so proud of. So give yourself grace.
Okay.
Understanding that we're here to learn. You can't learn without, making mistakes or falling on your face or bruising your elbow. Like, we have to go through certain things to become better. But when you go through those things, those traumas, understand that you can give yourself grace. You can forgive yourself. You can understand that it's okay. It really is okay. And when you give yourself grace, it allows you to grow in a way that you'll be, getting excited about falling on your face or making a mistake or, something not going right. You're like, okay, well, this is showing me what not to do next time.
Yeah.
But, I'm going to just keep my eyes open and rock this out, grace is
Bring it
so
on.
important. I also love when Tony Robbins talks about gift is here to serve us
Mm-hmm.
and not and teaching us not, what not to do again. But it's not supposed to stay around. It's like, okay, I made a mistake. Brush your shoulders off and get back in the game. Understand that grace is so powerful because it gives you the permission to do things differently next time. It gives you permission to make mistakes and then be okay with it. It grows you. So grace is important, gratitude is important, love. To me, love conquers all things.
Oh, it does.
It does.
Ah,
Love conquers all things. So when I do things, I try to do them out of love. When I'm speaking, I try to speak out of love. Even when I'm upset, I have to take a minute, like, okay, is this coming from a loving place? Sometimes I have to get quiet for a second with myself and then come out swinging with love. You know what I mean? It's so powerful. It's so amazing. I love love. I love sharing love. I love receiving love. Even on social media, I feel like I have one of the most positive pages of public figures because everybody comes in love. I think the spirit is subject to the authority. And if you're leading with love, then people are going to come in love. If I walk in a room, I want to change the atmosphere in such a beautiful way. And so usually the people that come across my path or I come across theirs are people that I need, people that are loving, that are kind, and that are a reflection of who I am. So that's pretty powerful.
that is, and it's so good to remember that. Because you're right. Sometimes we question what's happening around us, and we're
Yes,
like, "Why is this happening? Why is this happening all the time? Why am I having this bad experience all the time? Why are such and such people come across my way all the time?" Sometimes it's really good to take that moment, like you said, and ask yourself, "What? Yeah, why? What am I projecting that's
absolutely.
making that possible?"
Come towards me. Absolutely. And that's, it's kind of like some people wear these belly chains and they'll put them up high. So as they lose weight, they start to come down and you know that you're making progress. And it
I'm
keeps you
trying
from
to
eating that
imagine.
extra slice of chocolate cake. And it's like that. It's like, it kind of holds you accountable and keep on the right path.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Christina, w- tell us about what it is you do today, as
Mhm.
so that people can get an idea of how they can get in contact with you. And I'm going to put up your website address as well.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I am a life coach, one that's been amazing. And helping people to forgive their past and, like we said earlier, live in their authentic truth. Also, I am an interior designer. I've been doing that for over 20 years, which is a passion of mine that I absolutely love. I love making things beautiful. So I have a company called Design My Investment. So that website is designmyinvestment.com, or if you're on Instagram, it's Design My Investment on Instagram. But all things Christina, you can find at ChristinaJohnson.com. I sell these beautiful reminders of how, powerful faith is. I sell workbooks and gratitude journals.
Yes.
I've been like on my kids, my family to keep gratitude journals for years. When you're focused on the things that you have to be grateful for, it keeps your mind off of negativity and things that you want, but it hasn't happened yet. So you can find all of those things on my website. Or just follow me on social media and say hi every now and again. Let me love on you. Let me shed some light. And I've been doing a lot of like videos and stuff, but if you scroll down, it's like years of positivity. And on Facebook, I'm under Christina Johnson. Twitter is Inner Peace, Piece. And yeah, so just follow me. I would love to love on you. And we can reflect that love in each other and that joy and that peace in each other. I would love that. So yeah, Christina S as in Sam Johnson.com. Thank you so
Perfect.
much for this. This has been so beautiful.
It was fast. I can't
Yeah.
believe an hour went by so quickly, but then I knew. I mean, this is just wonderful. I could talk about um, things like this with you for hours. This
Yeah.
is right. And you talked about gratitude, because that's like something that's really dear to my heart, and it has been a part of my growing journey. And I would love to have you back on the show so that we can dig deeper on
Oh, I
that.
would love that.
It's just, I think, as people become more aware of the power of gratitude attitude, their lives change, and just everything changes, your perspective changes. And I think
Yes.
it's such a powerful message. And I can't believe that. I mean, you sell gratitude journals on your website, and I looked at them. Like, yeah, this is my girl.
Okay. I
So
love
excited to
that.
talk about this. So thank you, Christina. I do want to give you one more minute to leave us with whatever's in your heart,
Okay.
and then we'll say goodbye.
I think the last thing that I want to share is that there is power in surrender. When you're able to just surrender to life, surrender to your traumas, surrender um, to the things that you're going through, just understand that there's, again, light at the end of the tunnel. Everything is working for your good. And I always say God is in the background working for your good, especially when it doesn't feel like it. I think He's doing all the moving and all of the shaking to get things done, which is a beautiful thing. So just be open to life, to love, to joy, and just surrender to it. I think that's another great piece.
Love it, love it. Surrendering, getting, yeah, it gets rid of so much pain. So thank you. You talked about control earlier, and one of the best things I've learned was the serenity prayer.
Yes, that's so
Right?
good.
It's so good, right?
It is.
I mean, there's so much power in that prayer. And honestly, when I learned that prayer, I was not at all. I didn't have a higher power. I did not know a higher power. But I think it's so much deeper than that. I mean, if you really, really look deep inside of that prayer, you'll find a lot of peace. And
Yes.
so, do you want to? I don't know if you know it by heart. Do you want us
I
to
don't. I just
leave
know the
people?
piece of. I don't know it completely by heart. I don't want to butcher
So
it.
I
But
know it. So I can say it. I think it's beautiful to
mhm.
leave
Oh, I would love
everybody
to.
with that. Yeah. So it goes like this, and it's not because this is a Sunday show. It's
Yeah. But it really is powerful.
Yeah, it's a powerful prayer.
Yeah.
So it goes like this: God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Yes. Yes. That's good stuff.
That is good stuff. Christina, thank you so much for being here
Oh,
today.
you're
I
welcome.
so enjoyed talking to you and meeting you. You are a light in this world. You are so beautiful inside out, and what you do is amazing. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
touching Dela's voice with your heart today. And I can't wait to witness your amazing journey and seeing you rise and rise and rise.
Come
And
on. That's so beautiful. Thank you, Dela. And keep doing what you're doing. This is such a blessing. And I pray that it just continues to grow and grow and grow because we need you and we need this. And thank you for honoring me by asking me to come here. It really is an honor and I really appreciate it so much.
thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us today to hear the story of Christina Johnson, this amazing woman with an incredible story. It is our choice to choose.
Yes.
Have an amazing day, everyone. This has been Della's voice, sparking your soul. Till next time.